So, you think you want to do drive and drag and you're not 100% sure what you think you should bring. After 3 different drive and drags, completing all of them, I'm going to give you my advice on what I'm going to be bringing to Sick Week 2025. So after 3 years of drive and drags, we have completed all 3 of them so far. Hopefully we'll do 4. And over the years, we have kind of come to what we bring, how we pack the trailer, and a couple of different things that might help somebody that's getting into this get started. Now, this will not probably apply to some of the bigger guys. Some of it will, a lot of it won't, but like if you're somebody that's got an SMX, like we have a car with an SMX that's not been brought out yet. It won't apply to that. Some of it, but most of it probably won't. The tools will. But like if you're just a normal guy like me, and you've just built an LS powered, small block Chevy powered, small block Ford powered, or maybe even a newer Challenger Corvette, and you're kind of wondering what you should bring, I can give you kind of an idea of what we bring and why we bring everything. And we've also taken stuff out over the years, and I can explain why we've taken stuff out. The first thing, the most important thing in my opinion, trailer. Make sure your trailer has good tires, bearings are packed, and it is up to snuff to go that far. A lot of people don't think about it, and then there's been a couple instances where people didn't make it or really struggled because their trailer broke down, they didn't have the spare parts. In the enclosed, we keep a spare drum, pretty much a whole spare assembly, brakes and all, with bearings and everything. It's all in the trailer, just in case. I also keep a bottle jack in there and a spare. Now I only do have one spare, but we do have at least one spare, a bottle jack to get it off the ground, jack stands, because obviously we would have jack stands anyway. And that's one of the most important. Second thing is, if you are going to be hooking a trailer behind your car, make sure it is safe. I have seen so many drive and drag cars flip their little trailers because either they're not packed right, they have never ran with it, stuff like that. Not saying names for sure, but there's gonna be one guy that's going down there with us that I don't think, he makes me a little nervous, but that's for a later date. But let's get to what I actually bring, what is literally packed, sitting right here for Sick Week. And some of the stuff I have taken out, and some of it's stuff that I'm actually adding. Some of it is just personal, including headsets for the team. I have them for my no prep car. It is not needed for Sick Week, but I am going to bring them because it might make it easier for us to be able to talk, especially trying to film. Joe can be at the end of the track and film for us, Albert, whoever's going with us this year. They can film, help us out, and the headset should help just make it easier. But you don't have to have headsets. We've never had headsets until this year. It's just a personal thing. But let's get into some of the other stuff, and we'll talk about it and why I have it. So we'll start off with the essentials. Now, this is not, you do not have to have Milwaukee stuff. I've just always had Milwaukee stuff. Most of the stuff I've had for years. That's why I have it, and I really do recommend some type of pack out kit. Does not have to be Milwaukee. I really like the Milwaukee stuff though, as you can tell. But Harbor Freight sells them. Everybody sells pack out style stuff now. In my opinion, to keep everything organized, this is the best way to doing it. I have done it other ways, and yes, it worked. This has been the most efficient way. That's how I'm going to keep doing it. But of course, we got plenty of Milwaukee batteries. I will have a charger in there. We also have this little power inverter. You don't really need it. I just have it laying here. We have an electric ratchet, 2 different size 3/8 impacts, the little bit bigger one, and then my snap-on. You don't need all that. You can do everything by hand if you want. I just have this stuff, and that's why I put it in there. Of course, big impact. Highly recommend. You don't have to have it. I highly recommend it. If you look here, if nobody knows what this is, it looks stupid, but people seem to like it. This actually, I flip up like this, and I hook the Milwaukee leaf blower that I have to this as a trans cooler. You probably will not need a trans cooler at Sick Week. Unless you are making pass after pass after pass, you will not probably need it. So you don't have to have it. I have it. I'm going to use it. Tire inflator. Some kind of tire inflator or pump or something. This is my favorite one. This is what we use, but I would highly recommend some kind of air compressor or tire inflator. It is essential in my opinion. Then we're going to get into some of the parts real quick before we get into the other tools. We have a full set of Deutsch connectors here. And this isn't, I do pack stuff not just for me. Some of it is just in case somebody else has an issue. I can help them. I'm very big on trying to help. You will realize if this is your first drive and drag, everybody is willing to help everybody. And so I try to bring certain things to help people, just in case. Hopefully we don't need it. This is generic Deutsch connectors we've had for years. There we go. Butt connectors and just regular spade connectors and stuff. You don't really have to have this. You can pick all this stuff up at auto parts stores. I already have it in the enclosed trailer for when we're at the racetrack, so I just take it with me. If we go into the big box here, we have Loctite silicone, thread sealant, electrical tape. We have spare water pump gaskets, a spare crossover tube for the LS's. We've got all my sensors in here, a little bit of spare wire, but all my sensors, spare injectors, couple nuts and bolts that we have from years ago that we keep in there, and then a couple quick connects for the airlines for all your CO2 stuff. I don't have all of them, but I got quite a bit of them. If we go into one below it, we have spare air tube. Let's move this over a little bit. I actually have a tripod now, it makes it nicer. Spare air tube. This is a spare IO module sitting right here for Holly. We've got lots of spare O2 sensors. With us running C16, we're not sure how it's going to work, so I got a lot of spares. A little bit of sandpaper. A spare input shaft for the transmission is in here also. Hopefully I don't ever need that, but we have it. Spare relay, leash relay, because my car has 3 of them or 2 of them on it. This is a spare just in case. Some heat shrink, a full set of build your own spark plug wires. That is essential because all my spark plug wires are custom built. So that is just some of the stuff we bring. I'll go over to the tubs and then I'll show you what's in some of my tubs over there. All right guys, let's show you what's in the tubs. Let's show you what's not in the tubs actually first. We got jack stands with these little plates that I've had for years. Somebody gave them to me. I got 2 jack stands, 2 plates, because you're more than likely going to be in the grass. That is essential in my opinion. We've got duct tape, spare oil filters, spare charge pipe or tubes here, 1 thing of oil, gear oil, all your basic essential oils, spare belts, all goes in here. There's also brake clean and a spare silicone hose because we do use these, but I can cut this and make it whatever size. There's also a funnel in there. Duct tape's probably the most essential in that. If we go down to the big parts bin here, which is going to be hard to see, let me adjust here. If we open this up, I've got spare starter, turbo, spare fuel filters, some AN stuff, alternator, basically anything to do with the turbo side. The starting or charging side is essentially in here. I think it's pretty important. Also have some spare lug nuts because we bought lug nuts last year at the track, billet ones, and I've got the old ones still sitting in here. This is essentially almost all the parts I bring. And oh, and a spare CO2 bottle on the other one. I also got oil drain, which I have bought a new one of these every year that we have done a driving drag because I always forget them at home. So I keep stacking it with it so that I don't buy another one because we always change the oil on day 3. So let's go to the big toolbox over here and I'll show you what's in it. All right, guys, now we're going to my actual toolbox that slides in and out now. We did not have this until this year. This toolbox is from 1970s. It was actually my dad's crew chief when he raced circle track. It was his before he passed away, old man Jim's. And so it actually has a lot of sentimental value to the family, and now it's being used for racing again. I keep this in the drag week trailer, and it's just full of a bunch of cheap tools. Now, most of the tools that are in here are from Harbor Freight, or it was a 3-drawer Lowe's kit that you could buy. That's what we used for years, but the kit started getting beat up, and so I decided to use this box to store everything in one spot. Makes it easier. I have a tire gauge. This is a spare I'm going to keep in the toolbox. One is in the car. Tire gauge is essential. All your sockets for your wheels. I have torque wrenches, gloves, essential in my opinion, gloves. I also have rubber gloves too, because I'm a sissy and don't like to get my hands dirty, even though I'm a mechanic. Multimeter. Forgot mine last year, had to buy another one. We keep it in the drag week trailer and my regular trailer. All the tools in here go in my enclosed trailer in a big box. I took them all out of there and put them in here just for these events, and then I switch them back when we go. AN adjustable wrench. Of course, more electrical tape because, you know, never have too much. This is all my stuff just to do. Let's make a slight adjustment here. Burp, burp, burp. All right, so we got all my spark plug stuff is in here, including extra spark plugs. Oh, this also has my funnels for my trans my trans dipstick. You have to have that stupid special thing. I don't like it, but it is what it is. We got apparently a flashlight on. I have this little plastic thing just to take an oil filter off if it got too tight. I also have another set of spare spark plugs that I didn't even know I had, but here they are. Picks, let's see, picks, pins, a few spare that T-handled Allens that I use on certain things on the car. If you have specialty tools that you need on your car, make sure you bring them just in case. Then we got some more ratchets. We go down here, we got a bunch of pliers and vice grips. They're all cheap, Harbor Freight stuff, nothing special. Another cheap multimeter from Harbor Freight, a torch for electrical components, test light just in case. There's actually 2 test lights in there. One of my favorite drawers. Zip ties. Love zip ties. I got 3 different sizes in here. A couple knives just in case. I also have a pop rivet gun. Don't know why I ever bring that, but I always have. Hopefully I don't ever need it. And a measuring tape. Then we have a standard socket drawer. Well, it's not just sockets. It's got wrenches, sockets, Allens, everything that is standard is in here. Hopefully, and most of these are all just that cobalt set that I use. We go down one more. Metric full kit. Wrenches, Allens, sockets, everything right here. Go down to the last one. We got screwdrivers. It's hard to see this last one. A few hammers, pry bars. I also carry a really big pry bar just in case. I also got a power probe, a generic Amazon power probe. Nothing too particular. I also bring a knee pad. That's more or less for just changing tires and stuff. And my cheap, I think it was $10 years ago, pry bar that I keep in the enclosed trailer. So I always bring it with me just in case. That is it as far as tools. If you look over here, you also see my scooter sitting here. To me, if you have a crew that's going with you, buy one scooter at least so your guys can get around the pits. That, in my opinion, is a lifesaver for your guys on these quarter-mile tracks. All right, guys, so now let me tell you what I don't bring anymore. As of this year, I also bring a set of head gaskets. I have to order another set because LS, sometimes you blow head gaskets with the amount of boost we run. I have to order another set because we switched from a 5.3 to a 6-liter, and apparently I had 5.3 head gaskets in there and didn't realize, so I'll be putting those in there too. What we're not bringing this year will be my Milwaukee air compressor. If you do not have a tire inflator and you have to bring an air compressor, absolutely, highly recommend it. You have to have some kind of form, you know, something to air your tires up for the strip and set them. Most people know that, just kind of reminding people. But with us having the inflator, We have brought the compressor for a couple years. We've not really needed it. I don't even bring any air tools with me. So to me, it's kind of useless, so it got put back up. I normally bring rods and pistons, a spare set, two rods, two pistons, together. I'm not doing it this year. I can't get to the bottom end of my motor like a lot of people can. Fox bodies, I know with their aftermarket stuff, a lot of times you can pull the pan, you can pull the head in it, you could swap a rod and piston in it. I can't do that in my car. Now, I'm gonna try to fix that, but I can't do it as of right now. And the odds are if I hurt the engine, we're pulling it and we're gonna try to buy an engine down there and shove it, stab it back down in. So as of right now, there's no point in me bringing rods and pistons. We normally bring a canopy. I'm not 100% sure we will bring chairs. I recommend chairs because you will be sitting a lot of times. We bring a small cooler, nothing big, just enough to keep a little bit of stuff in the car with us on these long drives for me and Steve. And there's there's some odd and end stuff. We put a speaker in the car because I don't have a radio. I have a radio. I don't have any speakers in the car because we put the cage in it. So we bring a Bluetooth speaker for comfort. Cup holders. We have magnetic ones that go to the cage that are essential to me because me and Steve love it. So Harbor Freight, magnetic cup holders, stick them to your roll bars. Makes it a lot nicer. We also bring a couple other small things. You don't need it. You don't need all the power tools I've got. I just have them, so I bring them because it makes it easier if I do have to do something, because I'm a mechanic by day, so I can do things pretty quick, especially when you give me a power tool, because that's all I use at work. But you don't have to. You can wrench everything out if you want. If you want to save weight, you don't need a lot of this. My thing is I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, and that's kind of what we've lived by. Even when we bring it for years and we haven't used it, I'm still going to bring it just in case, because it's that one time that you do need it, and then you have to find somebody at the track with it, and sometimes that just doesn't happen. We have had times, I think 2 years now in a row, we have had to order stuff from Summit and have them deliver it to the track the next day, and it's been goofy stuff, spark plugs, because we want to go ahead and just change them, even though we had already changed them, but we were checking some stuff, so I only brought one spare set. So we went ahead and ordered another set. Lug nuts. We started buckling the ones that have the washers that aren't attached, and they just kept getting worse. But that's what had been on the car for years. So finally, I went to Summit and ordered the billet lug nuts for the front of the car. Just goofy stuff that you don't think about, I guess. There's always stuff you're going to not think about. I do not bring an oil change kit with me. The reason I don't bring an oil change kit with me, I do bring the pan or the drain, just in case we had to have it for something else. But there's no O'Reilly's everywhere down there, and AutoZone and everything. We use VR1 oil. I can buy my filter and oil at those stores, so there's no point in me bringing it. I don't run a special oil. I've ran VR1 for years. That's what we're going to keep running. It works good for us. If you run special oil, bring special oil with you and bring filters. If you run something crazy, I don't. I run a basic Wix XP filter. It's all we've ever ran. Of course, we bring wheels and tires, and we swap all 4 wheels and tires every day. And we have drag wheels and we have street wheels. Street wheels are just cheap Jegs wheels. They work great. I've been on the car for years. They work great. We also put cool springs in the back of the car in the factory locations to take care of the extra weight. I've talked about it in other videos. We put those, pop those in. I can pop them in just by jacking the car up. Slowly sit it down. It sits down in the factory location. It jacks the back of the car up. When we sit the trailer on it, it levels it out, makes it ride good. I don't have to mess with my coilovers at all. More than likely, there's going to be a lot of people you're going to see messing with coilovers. But if this is your first time, I would recommend bringing anything you might think you need, because sometimes it's hard to find stuff down there. And now everybody will help you. I will tell you, everybody will help you. As far as I've always been a part of, everybody's always been wanting to help everybody in the drive and drag community. It is the greatest thing you can do. It has been the most fun. It's what we look forward to every year. We race quite often in different cars, different classes. We have a whole nother car just for no prep and just racing in our local tracks, not even including my the Patriotic Monty. But drive and drag is a different world. It's the worst, best vacation you will ever have, and all of us look forward to it every year. It is what we we're just super psyched all the time about it. But this is what I bring. Pick and choose what you bring for yourself. If you have specialty stuff on your car that it's a pain to work on and you have special tools, make sure you bring them and just have fun. That's all it's about. Yes, if this is your first time, I highly recommend, like we've lived by, finish. Finish your first one. That's essential. You have to finish or it doesn't count. You know, you're knocked out. That ain't no fun. Finish your first one, come back, and then try to put it to it and win if you want to. We try to win, but we try not to push the car to where we can't finish also. You know, the main thing is try to make your car as reliable as possible and try to make it durable. That's the key, durability. And that's what we've lived by, is we try to build everything very durable. And we test everything. You know, we drive mine on the street quite often. If you haven't driven it on the street yet, good luck, because it sometimes gets a little rough, and especially with some of the highways and some of the roads down there. Be prepared for potholes. Keep an eye out. There's a lot of them and a lot of stop and go traffic some days you don't have none. Some days you're probably going to get stuck through some of these small towns, and that's okay. Just make sure you got a good cooling system. I highly recommend it. But guys, that's what I personally bring to all of the driving drags we have been to. Slowly, we have come across things we don't need and we take out. I do recommend good lights too, because if you get stuck at night, you're gonna need good lights. So we actually have a couple good lights in there too. But guys, you don't have to have all the stuff I've got. You don't have to have all the fancy Milwaukee stuff. That's just what I have personally that stays in my enclosed trailer when we go to different tracks, and it works for us. Find what works for you. Go to Walmart and buy little containers if you want, and store everything in those. That's what we did the first time, and it worked out great, and it's much cheaper. So, you know, you don't have to be the biggest, baddest out there. Just try to make it and finish your first one. So, guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, please contact me on here. Contact me on Instagram. I will try my best to help you through the knowledge that we have learned over multiple driving drags over the past 3 years now. I think we've been doing this. Oh, before I forget, make sure your cage is certified and make sure you have your license, or you are instantly gonna regret it. So that is essential. But we learned that the hard way the first time. But guys, I really appreciate you watching. It means a lot to me, and hopefully you're coming to Driving Drag, we can meet you, come up, talk to us, go talk to other people, have a good time. That's all it's about. Find that parking lot that's having the beer party, because that's what's fun. Hopefully our Australian buddies that we'll get to hang out with them this year, and hopefully they watch this. We can't wait to see you guys in Sick Week if you are watching this. So guys, till next year, or to the next video, which might be next year. It's in December. But we'll see you later.